Hey there, long time no see. Well, I know. However, few things have happened in the past few days, and one of those things is that, just very recently, this channel kind of celebrated 2 years of existence without any actual celebration. And not only that, but it kind of coincided with the fact that I was just getting over 300 subs. So, kind of like a merger or merging of like two things, 2 years and 300 subs. That kind of gives us about, 150 subs a year on average. Obviously, it's not always the same, but first and foremost, thank you guys a lot. And because of this, I figured I should just try to give something back in terms of like a lesson or tutorial or whatever. And since I didn't have anything prepared because I stopped playing guitar for so many months now, something like October 2020, last time I actually played a song or whatever, at least I tried to make myself useful with some of the things that I was experimenting with last few weeks. And because of some tech related stuff, that's like a completely different topic, I went back to Linux for a while. For those of you who have no idea, I've been using Linux in the past for many years, but then I kind of stopped cold turkey, and now I'm back for a few reasons. And while I was back, I tried to see if there are any viable solutions for guitar related applications. How good do they sound? How good do they perform? How stable they are? How reliable are they? And a bunch of stuff like that. So, in short, if any of you guys are using Linux, or if you're planning on using Linux, or if you have no plan at all and you just want to experiment with different things, here's the thing. I've tested countless distributions. Sorry, some of the things here just have a mind of their own. I tested like a huge number of distributions, like 2021 specifically, because some of the knowledge that I had from the past was already outdated. So I just wanted to see what exactly can and cannot be done still in 2021. So long story short, a lot of distributions out there who claim that they have working solutions for real-time audio processing and stuff like that. Not quite. Some things got better from where I left them years ago. Some things are still pretty much the same. But two distributions in particular caught my attention. One of them was Fedora Jam, which has very nice support for a lot of things. However, still, it gave me the impression that the real-time kernel for Linux still needed to be activated. They kind of took care of everything except for this, which is a minor thing probably in their opinion, but it's actually a major showstopper in my opinion, because first of all, not a lot of people know how to do that, and second of all, even if you do, like, why stumble across such a weird topic when you took care of everything else? So anyway, Fedora came very close in my opinion, but still, real-time kernel needs to be enabled, because otherwise you get some weird stutters, just like I'm getting right now. Probably I also don't have it activated. You have a bunch of cracks and pops when you're trying to play simultaneous, like a YouTube backing track and jam along, using some VSTs and whatever. But anyway, the stable solution, in my opinion, and like a quick out-of-the-box solution that you can get is AV Linux. AV obviously stands for audio video, so it's catered towards audio professionals and video professionals. It's not just for audio; it's also for video, obviously, video editing and image editing and all that type of stuff. It's sort of like a multimedia, suit for all of your needs. Now, obviously, you need to have a little bit of Linux experience, otherwise, learning curve might not be exactly the same as the one under Windows or whatever you're used to. But once you're there, things are working. Again, you kind of need to work your way around some of the initial bugs, I would say, because after a few updates and tweaks, those bugs tend to disappear, although random ones tend to still appear every now and then. But still, back to the point. In my opinion, if you want to experiment with something, try AV Linux. That's the out-of-the-box solution, in my opinion, right now in 2021. Probably things will change in the future, for better or for worse, but for now, AV Linux is the thing to go with. And there are a couple of, let's say, software kits out there for guitar-related things and VSTs and whatnot. I'll just cut to the chase. I tested all of them. By far, the one that stands out is the one that I have open right here on my desktop. It's Guitarix, and the good thing about this is that it kind of, sound-wise, it kind of reminds me of Bias effects plugins. It has a really good sound out of the box for like super high gain distortion sounds, with one personal disclaimer: as long as you keep them dry. If you really want to chug and you're like into really heavy distortion, this works like a charm. However, for some of the other things that I was trying, don't get me wrong, like for cleans, it also works great, but like that in-between zone where you need to have distortion and overdrive and stuff like that, but not all the way cranked up to the max, and you want to add things like some reverbs or some delay or some chorus, whatever, some modulation, some ambient effects and stuff like that, that's when you start to notice like an annoying hiss throughout pretty much all of the distortion simulations that they have. It kind of tends to become apparent that their distortion is pretty much one-dimensional. Don't get me wrong, you have a plethora of cabinets, amps, mic setups, and tone stacks, and all of those things to play with. However, in my opinion, they kind of wanted to probably target the heavy sounds and the people who have a great appeal towards those type of sounds, and probably it was done intentionally or just by accident. But again, bottom line is that in my opinion, those distortions are best if kept dry and simple. As soon as you start combining them with different things, it kind of gives you like a it's a decent sound, but still it doesn't have the stupid terminology, but it doesn't have that warmth and things like sounding really like a nice Marshall or like a Tweed amp or like an AC30 or whatever. They have very good emulations for those things, but still there's like an everlasting fizz and sizzle, kind of like Metal Zone, that kind of has that insane distortion no matter how much you tweak and fuck with it. And I think you get what I'm saying, especially if you're a guitarist. You'll know immediately what I'm saying. It's like those processors who always have like one good thing and the other ones are decent at most. This thing is kind of like the same. For example, compared to Guitar Rig, Guitar rig, I found it a lot better for those things where you have like classic rock or classic hard rock or heavy metal sounds, where you also add some nice effects to it. But on the super heavy distortion things, Guitar rig still sounds a bit emulated. Not that this one doesn't, but still, this one sounds closer to what you would get out of a real amp. Again, if it comes to pure raw distortion. Okay, so the great thing about this is that you have these sort of patches that are online. Now, a word of wisdom: when you open this thing right here with the preset, you'll be having, I mean, if you click on online, you'll be having like a lot of presets. Well, not like hundreds, but still, you'll be having a lot of them, as you can probably see right here. And all of these are kind of like banks, user-made banks that are just uploaded. To be honest, I don't even have like an idea how you can contribute. There's probably a simple way, but still, I didn't go in that direction. So you have all these things created by users. Some of them are really good. Some of them are decent. Some of them are really bad. Like some of them even have disclaimers like, "Hey guys, I made this super insane, distortion patch, and I don't even have an electric guitar yet." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And you try it out, and it's like really not good, obviously. But still, a lot of them are really good. And I know this is like direct recording, and my speakers like they're super bass driven, and probably the whole thing will sound very muffled and stuff like that. But give or take, take what you will. Let me just try to crank the volume up just a little bit, although the bass will amplify even more. And let's turn this down from here because we have a little bit of clipping. Right, so this one is kind of like a scooped version, right? If you're wondering, I'm tuned to standard B on my amazing slot guitar. Let me frame it right. There you go. You probably remembered this chick right here, and with the whatever was on my mind back then, because woo-wee. Yeah, you get on what I'm saying. Now, getting back to the whole thing. So this one's kind of like a scoop thing. Again, I have no idea what you get out of this, because it's recorded by phone and the sound is not so good. But this is one of the patches that I recommend. It's AJFA, and it just has one patch inside. Let's see what else we have. We have Boogie with heavy 1, 2, and 3. For example, let's see this one. If any of you recognizes that intro, hit me with a comment down below, and I might just do a cover of that. It's on my mind for the past 9 months probably, and I still didn't get to do it. But anyway, So that's, for example, the Boogie. We have Metal Pack V1, so version 1. Ah, hell, this one I just love. So this one has 3 patches inside, Sweden, Sweden 2, and Overdub. Now, let's start with the Overdub. I'll save the best for last. So let's start with the Overdub. Overdub, I think, is going to be, yeah, too loud out of the box. Okay, so again, this one is a bit scooped, and you can hear that ribbon with the whole mic setup and whatever, but anywho, this is Overdub. I'll probably try to make it just a bit louder, but anyway, this is Sweden 2. This one is also like kind of has that lo-fi, trash, like that thrashy sound, which I like. And now going to the first one, which is just Sweden without any 2. This one I just love. Why? Because for some reason, the setup that this guy has right here, and I try to pinpoint where it's coming from, because I tried to recreate this sound for many years now, and I still couldn't. And I blamed it on the emulation technology, on whatever. I only managed to get this sound out of a real amp, but that's a cool thing about Guitarix. Apparently, it allows you to do this this type of sound. Probably also you can do it with other software like Guitar Rig and whatever, but I never managed. Anyway, the cool thing about this sound right here is that for every stroke, you kind of have like an aftertaste of like a metallic ring. It kind of has like that tail end of an orchestra hit, if you know what I'm talking about. Like if you're familiar with synths and keypads and stuff like that, which have the orchestra synth, VST, or just orchestra synth in general, it has this. It has that small zing at the end, which is just insane, especially at high volumes, which I won't be trying right now because it'll just mess up the recording. But trust me, if I crank this thing up just above what is acceptable for the recording, the whole thing just gets a different type of vibe and resonance, and you can actually hear that thing so well. So this thing, I just like it because for me, like, there's only one type of sound that I've ever heard that really has this thing predominantly, and that is Alexi Laiho's distortion on tracks. Like, let's say the most obvious with this type of effect is In Your Face, right? So you have that. I'm not sure if the camera will capture this, but I'll just try very, very softly to. I think you get what I'm saying. It has that thing where it sounds like someone's hitting like a pipe with like a screwdriver or something, right? It has that bing. that's a little bit sped up from the original tempo, but you get the point. So yeah. I just love this. So there are a lot more sounds to experiment with. In my opinion, just download the AV Linux DVD and you can just run it in live mode. So that's kind of like a demo without installing anything. You can just have like a preview running. Yeah! Thank you. But remind me later, not in the middle of the video. So the thing is, yeah, like I said, you can run it in demo, and no need to install anything. Just make sure you kind of have this thing configured properly, which is the jack audio connection, which is like a quintessential part in any Linux distribution. If you want to have good real-time support with absolute, like, almost zero latency, support for your interface, for your card. I was really worried that my Focusrite wouldn't be supported, and yes, on their official website they say that there's no Linux driver, especially for my Scarlett 2i4 and whatever, but jack audio just takes care of everything. Plus you can jam along with YouTube videos, and like everything works in parallel. It's just amazing. So on the audio side, that's what I wanted to show you, and also on the video side, because like I said, we have the audio things, and if you're a content creator, you also might want to edit your videos and whatever. I'm really thinking about switching from what I was using in the past, which was Sony Vegas, or previously Magic Vegas. I took a look on what some of the Linux alternatives were, and again, long story short, because you have like Kdenlive, you have Shotcut, you have OpenShot, you have a lot of I think even Lightworks, and anyway, you have a lot of them. I tested all of them. Some of them have extreme bugs, some of them just crash like stupid, which it might just be an isolated case for my configuration, but then again, you might also experience it, or even if you don't, still for me that means I cannot use it, and I tried for hours to patch them and make them work and search for solutions online and whatever. It's one of those things where some of the hardware things just doesn't click, because for video editing especially, you need to have hardware acceleration, which by default on some of them you don't. Your rendering goes through the CPU, which is not a good thing, because whenever you add effects and stuff like that on top of anything that you do, you're no longer able to preview things in real time, and you have these stutters and stuff. So you need to have your GPU acceleration, and when I enabled that on a lot of them, I had like a completely different subset of problems and crashes and stuff like that, and GUI interface just freezing and just acting completely crazy. Anyway, long story short, the one that works for me, flawless at this point, is Shotcut. I'll be editing my video, this one right here that you're seeing, I'll be editing and rendering it with Shotcut. So let me know what you think. If you see any difference from my previous ones, although obviously that's like a rhetorical question. You won't be seeing anything, because it's not necessarily difference in the quality of rendering. It would have differed if I would have changed my recording equipment. But anyway, I like all the features that it offers. In some places, it also offers a lot of things that I didn't have in Vegas. Plus, Vegas was starting to annoy me because also Vegas had amazingly complex bugs, which after many weeks of trial and error and experimentation and whatever empirical do's and don'ts, I managed to kind of like contain them, and it wasn't acting up that much. But also feature-wise, it was very lacking compared to like the industry standards nowadays. Plus, when I wanted to upgrade to the latest version, they were saying they no longer officially support Windows 7. You have to have Windows 10 for full compatibility, guaranteed, blah, 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 which is something that I really hate because I just hate Windows 10, and that's a completely different monster and a different topic for another day. But yeah, for me, the only Windows at this point that's not just acceptable but really amazing is Windows 7. Anyway, brushing off from that into what I wanted to say is that if I'm eventually gonna let go of this AV Linux thing, I have no idea. I hope I won't, but let's see. If I go back to Windows for a while or whatever I might do, I think I'll be sticking with Shotcut for now because they also offer Shotcut under Windows. Granted, the other ones that I mentioned, like OpenShot or Kden Live, although I had severe problems and bugs with them, I never tested them under Windows, and they also offer solutions under Windows. Who knows, under Windows it might be a lot more stable, but let's say for now I have no reason to change because Shotcut really gives me everything that I need. And no, under no circumstance this video was sponsored by any of these guys like AV Linux or Guitarix or Shotcut, because guess what? It's Linux, it's open source, it's free, so it's a completely different mindset and market, right? So no sponsorship there. I just fiddled with things on my own, right? And just decided to share these things with you guys as a I don't know, bonus gift for the occasion of 6 string Overdose. Celebrating, I guess, 2 years and 300 subs. So again, once more again, thank you to all of you who are subbed and constantly following the videos and liking and sharing and all those things and commenting. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Slide stutter right there. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment in the comment section down below. Tell me if this video right here made you interested in possibly giving Linux and you know, these software alternatives in general a shot, or if you're just happy and content with what you have right now and you won't be changing it. To be honest, I could have said the same thing about myself up until very recently, but still, because like I said, I was fiddling with the Linux for completely different other reasons. I decided to also see what's available here, and I was like, all of a sudden I can get out of the trap with, you know, not just Windows being paid and stuff like that versus Linux being free, but no more Guitar Rig, which sucks, but then you also don't have to pay for it no more. You have the free alternative with Guitarix. No more Vegas. Again, you don't have to pay. You have Shotcut and other software. So yeah, pretty much that's it. By the way, I reminded myself about something for Guitarix because it has, if you know anything about Linux and whatever with plugins, VST support is kind of tricky. Therefore, the majority of them are LV, you know, LV2, whatever. And this one is no exception, but with your DAWs, you might have a little bit of an issue. So for example, in my case, what I did, because I'm still using Reaper, Reaper is also available on Linux, by the way, and that's what I'm using. And by the way, importing a project that was done under Windows and opening up the same project under Linux completely out of the box, no problem. I forgot to turn off my volume. And yeah, so because I'm still using Reaper, I wanted to give Guitar Rigs a shot under Reaper. It works, but it doesn't work like this, at least. I didn't manage to do it yet, and a lot of people are saying the same thing online because of different technical aspects I won't be getting into. However, all of these modules that are in Guitar Rigs, like the amps, the cabinets, the effects, they are available as individual things that you can import in your track as, you know, as a rack, for example, configuration or whatever. So everything here, plus even much more, it's available in your DAW. In my case, in Reaper, under the Guitar Rigs team, I think it's called. It detects those automatically and labels them under one category. So the idea is that you have all of these individual components inside, but they're kind of like independent modules with their own interface and whatever. So you can't really import this as it is and use those patches, at least not easily. But you can mix and match them, and also mix and match them with other things that are not from Guitar Rigs. In my opinion, even though that's kind of like a nice thing to have, which you don't, at least not for now, still it offers some pluses because it kind of offers flexibility that you don't have within the interface of Guitar Rigs. So you can mix them in all of the ways that Reaper allows you to, which is a lot more, gives you a lot more flexibility than this standard interface and layout arrangement, whatever you want to call it. All right, so nothing is lost. The technology and the modules and the plugins are still there. You just have to kind of assemble them yourself. So that's about it. The video is long enough, so I will not bother you anymore, I guess. But again, let me know what you guys think. And until next time, let's hope I will make a like the next video sooner than what I've been using you guys to for the past few months. So yeah, at this point I'm not even coherent no more, and I have no idea what I just said, if any of my previous sentences made any sense or not. So goodbye.